Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to do a quick little video here. This is not regarding any prediction or any stuff like that. It's just a quick discussion on the Electoral College. So, pictured here the 2020 map, but with the adjustments for the Electoral College. As you can see, dark blue is what went to the Democrats in 2016 and 2020, and the lighter blue is the states that flipped in the 2020 election. Red is everything that voted for Trump. Light red would be everything that flipped to Trump in the 2020 election, which was nothing. Alright, so the expectation is that the Electoral College is going to be quite close. And what do I mean with that? Well, a landslide prediction, for an example, would be that the winner of the presidential election has 300 more electoral votes than the number 2. So in this particular case, that would be that Trump would be getting less than 100, for an example, and Harris would get 450, something in that particular range. That would be a landslide. Now, that kind of stuff is never going to happen again because the polarization is just too much. End of story. Ronald Reagan was the last one capable of doing it. Technically Bush. I mean, we can kind of do that too. Because you can just look here, presidential results. So, 1988. 426 to 112, that is classifying as a landslide. Now, if you go to 1992, for an example, with Ross Perot being spoiler, you have a difference of 202 electoral votes. As a result, no, it wasn't a landslide. Even though it was a clear victory, it was not a landslide victory. Alright? So, having said that, a landslide is not possible because, simply put, it would require California to flip Republican, for an example. In which particular case, you take all these other states, and they have 360 to 178, and you're still not there. Because in that particular case, you're going to need New York, probably Illinois, still not there. So let's go with Jersey. And now we have a landslide. This is a kind of map that just won't happen, so don't even bother picturing it. So, back to 2020. What would be a landslide scenario for, or in this case, a victory scenario, a best case victory for Kamala Harris? Well, it's this map, but there's going to be one little change, and that's North Carolina. Now, North Carolina going to Barack Obama was kind of like Indiana going to him as well. So, North Carolina is a Republican state, up and down the ballot. Maybe an exception would be statewide office, such as the governor or the Attorney General. In the case of North Carolina, there's only been one Republican Attorney General since the Civil War, or technically Reconstruction. So that would be an office that would be technically considered safe Democrat in terms of historical precedent. Having said all this, 319 electoral votes would be the absolute max that Kamala Harris is going to get. There's no Florida going to the Democrats. Texas is not going to the Democrats. You're insane if you're thinking that that could possibly be the case. Now, what would be the best case scenario for Donald Trump? Well, Georgia would flip. Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Those would all flip. Guaranteed. Furthermore, you can make a case for Nevada. You can make a case for Virginia, which is being polled at Harris +3 at the moment, which is basically a toss-up. Nevada is dead even, as is Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan have a slight Trump lead. Arizona is a slightly wider lead. But then again, this would be the max. Thinking real quick. Depending on turnout, you can make an argument for Maine flipping as well. But it's all based upon turnout predictions and that kind of stuff. So Maine's first is going to go safe Democrat. Maine's second is going to go for safe Republican. It's just a matter of margin of victory in both districts and the turnout differential. Here's the thing. Maine's first district always has a higher turnout than Maine's second district. As a result, I don't think that it's out of reach, but you can make an argument for Maine at large flipping to Trump. So, with Trump, it would be at the max 325, but I'm saying that 306 is going to be one of the most likely scenarios. Now, if you saw my last video regarding the prediction, I had this map. So 290 for Trump and 248 for Harris. That is what I have it at the moment, based upon polling and then adjusting it for polling errors. So that's what we have right now. The absolute peak is going to be 319 for Harris. The absolute peak for Trump is going to be 325. Little quick one. I'm seeing just over 6 minutes. So that's pretty good. The Senate, I can show you that real quick. This is what it's looking at right now. Well, Rick Scott's going to win, as is Tim Sheehy. So the Republicans already have a majority. You can make a case for Bernie Moreno winning. And you can also make a case for McCormick winning in Pennsylvania. But that's really pushing it. Michigan is going to be a little closer. Maryland might be closer than normally, but still going to be a likely victory for Alsobrooks. You can make an argument for Wisconsin being a little closer, but that's just not going to be the case. I think it's going to be about an 8-point victory for Baldwin. Arizona, Carrie Lake's done. I may even move it to safe. But at this moment, I don't think that Gallego's going to win by 10 points. Same thing goes for Heinrich in New Mexico. So, at the most, Republicans 53. What's going to be most likely? Thinking 52. House of Representatives, I already showed you that. I'm thinking the Republicans are going to hang on to the House, albeit narrow majority. So that is what the election is going to look like at the moment. So, it is important for the Democrats, because you are down but not out. If you transfer funds from the presidential race to the House of Representatives race, it is going to be guaranteed that you lose the presidency, but you may win in the House. So what kind of states would I think to focus on? Well, if you want to win the House of Representatives, you should definitely focus on Michigan. You should focus on New York, because you already have a flip here. You may be capable of flipping Long Island. Again, you can focus here on Virginia. The ones in Ohio are rather important. Nebraska second is basically guaranteed to flip at the moment. So that's good for the Democrats, of course. North Carolina, you may want to focus on this seat. Southern Texas, that would be pretty good. New Mexico, kind of focus on that. And in the end, really rack up the margins in California. And I don't think you're even capable of here. So Oregon, that's one is important too. And you still need to pick up at least 6 seats from this margin. Now, these in Pennsylvania, you can get them rather easily. You can focus on New Jersey to try and knock off Tom Keene. It's going to be a little difficult. Maybe you can try to save Jared Golden. You're still not at a majority at that particular time. So next easy victory would be Arizona. Try and get Schweikert off, or maybe Siscomani, and you've got a majority. So that's the state you got to focus on. So New York, Michigan, Ohio, Virginia a little bit, North Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Arizona, and maybe a little extra effort in California and Oregon, if you want to get it done. Now, when it comes to the Alaska election, there's only one Republican on the ballot. There are 2 Democrats, and there's an independent. So at this point, I'm fairly confident to say that Alaska will flip to the Republican Party. The one in Colorado is going to stay. Van Orden's going to win. Joe Kent's going to win. John James is going to hang on. As are Lawler and Molinaro. Giggins hangs on. Any other ones that I'm missing? Zach Nunn, I suppose. And the California seats. These are going to be safe for the Republican Party, essentially. So, for the Republicans, if you want to win a House majority, you got to focus on Arizona. These 2 seats. They've got a majority already. And maybe you can try and see if you can pull off some magic in Michigan or Pennsylvania, because you're already campaigning there. Same thing goes for Ohio, because you kind of want to knock off Sherrod Brown. So at that particular moment in time, you got to focus on the belt surrounding Toledo, and then you have Cleveland. So you got to focus on this belt. If all those counties are red, there's a good chance that Bernie Moreno is going to win. Maybe you can try and do some magic in Summit County, or maybe some magic here if Franklin is here with Columbus. Here, that's Hamilton County. This bottom piece here. Try and see if you can get Landsman off. But that's the way it's looking at right now. So the Republicans do have a pretty good cycle this time around. When it comes to the governors, well, at the moment it's looking like this. There may be a chance that New Hampshire is going to be a little closer. There may also be a chance that New Hampshire flips. That is certainly a distinct possibility. But at the moment it's likely Republican. So there we go. Best case scenario for both parties. In summary, President, well, it could be between 319 for Harris to 325 for Trump. That particular range you got to look at it at. No third-party candidate will score an electoral vote. Senate is safe Republican. Whether it's going to be 51 or 53 Senate seats or anything in between, that's kind of what we have to figure out in 2 months. House of Representatives, at the moment, Republicans are favored, but Democrats have a distinct possibility of winning, but they got to do a lot of effort. Which means you don't abandon Harris. Because if you do, you'll lose the House. Governors, Republicans still have the majority in the governor chamber. Whether it's going to be 26 or 27 governors, or maybe even 28, that's kind of up to the electorate to decide. At the moment, it's going to be about 27. At least that's what I have it. Thank you kindly for watching. See you next time. Cheers.